A suspected terrorist killing of a soldier in South London. The victim was run over, hacked with a cleaver and killed. The assailants were eventually shot by armed police. If the account from Whitehall sources is confirmed, it is the first killing of a soldier by suspected jihadists on the British mainland. The two men who killed the man who was believed to have been a soldier outside the barracks in Woolwich reportedly shouted, "Allah Akbar, God is great," as they danced around the corpse, filming what they'd done, shouting, "We swear by Almighty Allah, we will never stop fighting you." Details are still in conflict. Genuine witnesses were few. But what is beyond doubt tonight is that the man was run over by two men in a car who then got out and attempted to behead the victim and kill him. The men had wielded a gun. At the least, it was a vicious murder by any standard. But if, as one key Whitehall source is reporting tonight, the victim was a soldier and the assailants appeared to be homegrown, the crime assumes an even grimmer dimension. This is an important warning. If you have children watching, you may not want them to see what happens next. This is a major and extremely violent incident. The man you're about to see appears to have been involved.
I apologise that women had to witness this today, but in our lands, our women have to see the same. You people will never be safe. Remove your governments, they don't care about you.
Well, as we speak, a major anti-terror operation is underway. David Cameron is flying home, cutting short his journey to Paris, and the government's Emergency Cobra Committee is already in session in Whitehall. The emergency response to the brutal murder which happened in broad daylight this afternoon in a southeast London street. A man thought to be a serving soldier was hacked to death by two suspected jihadists. Government sources said they shouted Allah Akbar and filmed the horrific attack. Let's go live now to our social affairs editor Jackie Long in Woolwich. Jackie.
Police tonight are trying to piece together the details of what was an extraordinarily savage and extreme attack carried out in the middle of the day in this busy part of southeast London. Now, early details from eyewitnesses were almost unbelievable. They described how a man was attacked with a machete by two others who hacked him to death and then tried to decapitate him. Now, armed police arrived, the two attackers were injured and were taken to hospital. One is said to be seriously injured this evening. When we arrived here, I think initially all the talk was that this was probably some sort of gang attack. But a couple of residents started introducing this notion of a terrorist element. One, who didn't want to go on camera, described how the two men had circled the body of their victim several times, using, in his words, moralistic and ritualistic language, confirming for him that this was indeed a terrorist attack. Now, some of the details in the report you're about to see may be distressing to some people. Simon Israel reports.
Mid-afternoon on a road in southeast London, running between a council tower block and, lying behind the trees, Woolwich barracks. Witnesses report the most horrific of attacks. Two men armed with knives and what appeared to be a meat cleaver, savaging a young man who was wearing a Help for Heroes t-shirt and then dragging his body into the middle of the road.
They were hacking at the poor guy. We thought they were trying to remove organs or something. They were just hacking at him, chopping him, cutting him, and we jumped out. My partner jumped out the car and shouted. I jumped out as well. One of the black guys went to the crashed car, got in the front, pulled out a bag. He pointed a gun. He shouted to my partner, get in the car, get in the car. He was waving this gun around. I then moved the car up the road.